So here's our cool rock that we found on Ross Creek Beach. When you look at it, it's got this really blue tinge to it, really deep. You know, people can walk over this and not think anything of it, although I think it's got something hidden inside that could be wonderful. I'm thinking possibly if it's just a clear, kind of a bluish chalcedony, that'd be great. It could be a sagonite inside, but it's clearly a nodule. I mean, you could see the nodule features. You see little dimples. It's just had the skin worn away, but the hard bits are left. And I think what we'll do is we'll cut it probably this way. I think I like that face there, so we'll probably cut it in a couple slabs like this. Let's take it over to the 10-inch slab saw. Let's reveal what's inside here and then see what we have to work with. Okay, so this rock was super hard. It reminded me of cutting a Montana agate. It was that hard. Not quite as hard as Montana agate, but super hard. Okay guys, so I cut that nodule, and it was not what I expected at all. I got a hugely pleasant surprise. It looks, you know, bluish on the outside. I expected to see, you know, you can see a little bit of white there, but I didn't expect to see what I saw when I opened it. So here we go. And, you know, to some this may not be much, but it's an agate, and it's got this opal center, which is so beautiful. I've found these types of agate nodules on Scotts Bay Beach before and Ross Creek Beach. This one I found on Ross Creek. I have another example of one of these that I actually found on Scotts Bay, and I have it here with me. So these, I call these shadow agates, and they have these opal, like a white quartz opalized center, kind of almost. I'm pretty sure it's opal. It's, you know, not coarse grain, so it's not, you know, that coarse grain white quartz. But yeah, it's just a beautiful specimen. So this is the example. I've polished this one up. You can see the outside of it. It's got that same blue tinge with the white. And it's just, yeah, really cool. But this is another example of one. And what I like to do with these, instead of making, like, I want to keep the outside features. This one has some nice banding on the outside. I want to keep this as is. So I'm going to face polish this, and I'll keep it as a specimen. Like, I have a little collection going on of Scotts Bay and Ross Creek agates, and different types you can find, and I'll put this in that category. So we'll polish this one up on the High-Tech Diamond 8-inch flat lap today, and we'll go through the process of polishing that. Maybe I'll just give a few tips along the way. Oh, before I head off too fast, here's the other side. You can see that that's where that blue tinge was coming from. It's almost like the opals kind of mixing with the clear chalcedony there, and it's kind of forming a bluish tinge. This one might be one side. I might try to make maybe a pendant out of this, maybe a square one. It's kind of like in a nice rectangle shape, so maybe I can try to make a square pendant out of that, or maybe like an oval, like a rounded square pendant, possibly. We'll think about that one. Okay, so instead of going right over to the flat lap, I actually took it back to the saw, and this thing was so hard I was able to cut a nice thin section off of it and get more towards the center of the agate, like right where I wanted to get. And really happy I did, because I exposed a little more of that banding around the opal. So yeah, these are definitely, we call them shadow agates, and they have this opal effect in the center, and the banding happens around the opal. But really happy I did that, and I'm going to polish this face, and now I have this nice little thin section, which, you know, when you hold a light up to it, you almost get this iris effect. Actually, it's hard to see on the camera, but you almost see it. Might be the opal, a little bit of flash in the opal maybe, but yeah, really nice. this is a really awesome surprise. I've had this rock, you know, I found it probably 3 or 4 months ago. Didn't think anything of it, and I'm really glad I decided to work with it today. It's really cool. A little bit of mud on there. We'll get that off. But yeah, really cool. You can see that flash right there. I can see it through the camera. So that's really neat. So we'll probably leave this as is, and we're going to face polish this side, and I might make a pendant out of this one, depending on how I can shape that up. But for now, let's just go over and let's get a polish on this. So for all you high-tech diamond flat lap users out there, I've been playing with this new method where I start off with a very high grit disc. So this is a 360 grit grinding disc. It didn't take much time actually to grind this piece at all. As you can see, I've done it already. And then I go right to a 325 polishing disc. And then I just go through the sequence of polishing discs from here. So what I'm finding using this sequence of discs is that smaller pieces like this don't take any time at all. I can really get the grind I need to get all those saw marks out. And then once I hit the polishing stages, it just, you know, probably 1 minute per disc on the polishing disc. So, you know, I just spent a minute on this 325 disc, and again, I'm on the 600 disc here, and it's the same thing. I just spend, you know, roughly a minute. So I can get through the 600 to 1200 to 3000, which is 3 discs, in about 3 minutes. The whole process of polishing this agate took about 15 minutes. So again, this is a 5-disc process. I used a 360 grinding disc, then I went to the 325 polishing disc, 600 polishing disc, 1200 polishing disc, and now I'm on the 3000 polishing disc. And I stop here. I don't go any further than 3000. You'll see at the end here the kind of shine I got. Okay, so as you can see, that method of polishing where we started off with the finer grit and then just really did a quick polish with each stage. It really did a wonderful job on this agate. Got a super high glossy mirror shine, and yeah, it's a good little shelf specimen on to go onto my Scots Bay agate display. So I still have these other two. This really thin one, which I think is going to make a really nice freeform pendant. Just put a little clasp at the top of it, but I'm going to put it into the lotto tumbler first. I'm just going to get an accumulation of rocks to put in there, and then when I do, I'll throw that in there with it and shine that one up, and that'll be made as a pendant. And I think I'll put this one in as well. Instead of trying to instead of trying to grind away to try to make like a freeform pendant, I think I'm just going to put it in the lotto tumbler and let it do its work. And it's going to come out with a nice surface shine there, and it's going to round out a little bit of the outside roughness here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do with those two pieces. But this one, really happy with how it turned out. We'll get some close-up shots here in a minute. But yeah, that piece really was surprising. Really glad I picked it up. A lot of times I would have walked over that, honestly. But you know, I thought that it was just ordinary looking enough. It might have something nice inside of it. And, well, I'm sure glad I did pick it up because it was beautiful on the inside. With that, I want to thank everybody for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. If you're new to the channel, we put out videos every week. Mostly lapidary projects, but we do go on the occasional rock hounding hunt now and then when I get the boys all together. With that, guys, have a great weekend. Great rest of your week, and we'll catch you next one.